Hello, my name is Happy Hassan and I work with the network of people who use drugs known as Tanpud, and also with the sister organization that is known as Salvage here in Tanzania. I'm going to present on incarceration, drug policies and TB within Tanzania and Africa at large. People who use drugs are being incarcerated because of hanging loose on the streets in their respective countries, or when found with small possession of drugs where they could be linked to care and treatment of methadone or sober houses or other like-minded prevention treatment of substance abuse, rather than be sued into prisons where they could go learn to become masterminders of bigger offenses and crimes. It's time for friendlier and supportive policies to be put on place that will be supporting new behavioral change without damage or loss of manpower for our government and families. Next, please. Here we have conflict of interest disclosure. That is a survey that we would like you to fill on any box that is appropriate for you. Please fill and return the answers to the organizers or on my email, that is happy.hassan@gmail.com, and I would share with the organizers. Please do fill the survey. Next, please. Tuberculosis in Africa. As you see on the slide, in 2016, 25% of all new TB cases and of all TB deaths worldwide occurred in Africa. More than 1 of 3 people with HIV in Africa carried the TB bacteria in the same year, and more than 2 in every 3 people with multi-drug resistant tuberculosis were not diagnosed. Mortality among people with MDR-TB is 21%, and among people with XDR-TB is 43%. Next, please. Tuberculosis, TB in prison, in African prisons. As you can see the diagram there, we have 4 countries. There's Cameroon, Tanzania, Malawi, and Zambia, where we have those prevalence, and as you can see the prevalence. So there are few data on TB in Africa, in African prisons. Where data exists, they are usually of poor quality and often do not represent the number of the whole nation. This table comes from Stuart Reid from University of North Carolina and Center for Infectious Disease Research in Zambia, known as CIDRZ, showing that TB prevalence rates in prison is much higher than outside. At the same time, services are hardly existent or accessible in most prisons that are in the prisons that are overcrowded. No data, no support. How can we face this reality with the lack of data? Violence against inmates by guards has always been an aspect of prison's life to a greater or lesser degree. Violence committed against inmates by other inmates may be similarly destroy for victim's sense of self-worth and make him or her resent the system that failed to protect them. Next, please. The situation in Tanzania. According to the Global Fund, Tanzania ranks 14th among the 30 WHO identified higher TB burden countries. It is also listed among the 10 countries with the largest gaps between notifications of new and relapse incidents TB cases and estimate of TB incidents. The estimate incidence in 2018 was 253 cases per 100,000 people, and the estimate mortality in 2017 was 47 per 100,000 people. WHO estimated that 92% of the 2,600 people who acquired multi-drug resistant TB in 2016 were not diagnosed as such. On TB, among people who use drugs, we have a lot of data missing. A survey done in the Muhimbili National Hospital or Methadone Clinic in 2015 showed a TB prevalence of 4%. One person out of 150 was diagnosed with MDR-TB. Next, please. Brutalization, effects of drugs, effects of prisons, overcrowding and lack of individualized treatment leading to revidism. Prison, a place where one can be taught to change their behavior. Most of our prisons are underdeveloped and depend on foreign aid. Within a prison, overcrowding, failing infrastructure, corruption, extended pre-trial detention, gang culture, and inadequate attention to women and youth are rampant. Most inmates have been sentenced for minor offenses where those people could have just been of help to our society if they could have been given community work rather than suing them, putting them in those overcrowded spaces where they can acquire several diseases. Gender dimension within the prison. Given the ratio of male to female prisoners, it is understandable that prison system is organized of a male perspective. However, women are also incarcerated, and they are and they need maternity spaces, children care, childbirth spaces, and addition, they need a safe space. But we lack those spaces. And I would like to share some stories, or two stories of my colleagues. There was Juma, who was incarcerated because of stealing a motorbike. Juma went within a prison without having tuberculosis, and he stayed there. His sentence was of 2 years. Unfortunately, there he acquired a TB, and he had complained several times on his final months of getting out that he's feeling sick, but there was no measure taken. But until the time he was released, and when he came to the streets, he found us some other friends who supported him by donating and took him to have a TB test, where he was diagnosed with TB, and he got treatment. So many thanks to friends who supported him for transport and treatment. So, but look, the damage is Juma had a wife and a small daughter. These two people could have acquired TB from Juma as he was home before he started his medications. There was Amina, whom we were put into a cell police post last year together after holding a concert without permission. And we were kept for 1.5 days where no one was allowed to have her medication or his medication while in police custody. And for that, this is a greater loss. We need policies that could allow us to get access to our medications no matter where we are, no matter what's happening. To be in a prison doesn't mean to lose your right to have your medication or to be treated. Also, being in a custody of police station doesn't mean for one to miss their doses or not being given permission to have their doses. So we need policies that are friendlier to people, no matter their gender, no matter their identities. We need dignity. We need to be respected and supported, no matter of our challenges, no matter what we are going through at that time. Thank you so much for listening, and hope we're gonna fight to have friendlier policies in place. Once again, thank you so much.